Joseph was returning home after a long business trip. He had been away for 3 months and missed his wife and son very much. He tapped his fingers impatiently on the armrest, as if hoping to make the plane go faster. Finally, he walked to his house and opened the door with his key. Evelyn, I'm home, he shouted, and immediately he heard the sound of the baby's feet running toward him, slapping the floor. Ashley, my son, my darling, hello. How you've grown while I've been away. Joseph lifted the 3-year-old in his arms and held him tightly. I missed you so much. I missed you too, Daddy. It's so good that you came. Wait, kiddo. Where's Mama? The father asked the baby. Mom went to the store and told me to sit and draw. She often does that because I'm a big boy now. I used to be scared and cry, but now I'm not scared, and my dad brings me chocolates and cars for it, Ashley said. Wait, what daddy? Confused Joseph. Ashley, your daddy, that's me. Who gives you cars? No, your daddy, Joseph. The other daddy, his name is Charlie. When you come home, Charlie doesn't come, and I'm not allowed to tell you about him. Don't worry, he's nice. He gives me cars and goes to the zoo with me. Joseph hugged the baby and pressed himself against his shoulder to hide his tears. He was overwhelmed with sadness. He was so seldom home that his son now called another man daddy. You forgive me. It's not my fault, son. It's just my job. I save and protect people and our homeland. Do you know what that means? Asked Joseph. I see. The baby nodded gravely. The little hands hugged the man's broad neck tightly. Joseph thought there was nothing more precious to him in life than that hug. He would do anything for his son to grow up in peace and love. At that time, there was the sound of a door opening, and Evelyn appeared in front of them. She was clearly disturbed, and it took her some time to pull herself together. Joseph, are you back already? I wasn't expecting you until Monday. I wish you had warned me. I would have made dinner, she said. Yes, I know you weren't expecting me today. Although it's fairer to say you weren't expecting me at all. Really? What on earth are you talking about, darling? How can I not wait for you? That's right, you have Charlie now. Or are you going to deny cheating on me? Evelyn, glancing around the room where Ashley had gone to sort out the presents, and suddenly, abruptly, she said, Yes, I have another man. So, what are you going to do now? Kill me? And if I'm tired of being alone all the time, if I want to go sleep and wake up with my husband, not a pillow, if I want to live now and not later, what do you say to that? Why are you silent? Say something! Charlie is different, not like you. He's better than you. He's always around to help me. How long have you had him? How long have you been acting like you have two husbands? It's been almost a year, shouted Evelyn, the truth in Joseph's face. And can you believe it? He made me feel like a real woman. I see. Well, I won't be scandalized and I'll just leave now, but I'll come see my son. You're not taking Ashley away from me. And think about where you're going to live. It's a service house, it's not ours. I'm going to get my own place, but they're going to move me out of town. So the house will have to be vacated in any case. You can start moving your stuff over to Charlie's now. You're probably already dreaming about it, though. Well, anyway, good luck. I'm filing for divorce. Joseph quickly packed up his things in an army bag and called out to his son. Ashley, son, come to me. I'll be gone now, but not for long. We'll see each other. Just don't forget me. I love you very much, okay? I'll never forget you, Daddy. I'm an adult, and also because Ashley wrapped his little arms around Joseph's neck and kissed his cheek. Because I love you, he whispered hotly into his father's ear. Joseph stayed in a hotel while he searched for and rented a place to live. Time passed. The service was a succession of similar days that gradually healed his spiritual wounds, except that the trial once again shattered the delicate balance. Evelyn tried to accuse Joseph in court to get as much as she could after the divorce. You know, she argued to the judge, he's impossible to live with. He's always drunk, he scandals, he treats us rudely, and he doesn't want a son at all. But I put up with everything until I caught him with another woman. Joseph looked at this woman and could not believe that he had ever sought her attention, loved her, treasured every moment spent with her. What kind of person is she? How could she lie like that? As he left the courtroom, he couldn't stand it and stepped toward her, even though his lawyer advised him against it. Aren't you ashamed? Evelyn looked away, held her head up proudly, and walked away. Joseph realized that she was not ashamed. For the next few weeks, he tried to see his son, but Evelyn kept making things up or simply wouldn't answer the door. Then Joseph went to the kindergarten to see the boy. None of the children were there, and only his son stood, his face pressed against the fence, staring longingly at the road. Little Ashley turned to his kindergarten teacher, Sarah, and said, "Sarah, that's my daddy, Joseph." The caregiver, who had barely finished her workday, expressed some frustration, saying that her workday was over and that Ashley's mother, Evelyn, was just not picking up the phone. Then she asked her to pick up her child on time from now on, or she would contact child services. I'm sorry, it won't happen again, Joseph told her politely. He took his son by the hand and they hurried away. They walked around town, ate lunch at a cafe, and finally went home. Joseph bathed his son and put him to bed. Suddenly, a call came from Evelyn. Evelyn, you didn't remember about having a son until after 10 p.m.? Joseph said calmly, as always. Is Ashley with you? The kindergarten teacher said you picked him up, so I wasn't worried and took care of business, she said. I've been busy. You've left us and no place to live. I'm looking for a place to live right now. Maybe you have a way to get another server's apartment or cabin for your son? She continued. Joseph was indignant. Can't you think of anything cleverer? Why should I have to provide housing for you and your lover? By the way, why aren't you living with him? His mother doesn't want us to live with her, and she lives alone in a huge house. So we're looking for a place to rent right now, which is very difficult when we're both at work. Anyway, I'll come and get Ashley soon. Don't. He's asleep. I'll take him to kindergarten to myself in the morning. Evelyn entered the conversation without even asking anything about her son. Joseph hung up silently and looked at the sleeping child. Both of them didn't seem to be much use to Mama. The next day, Evelyn called and asked for Joseph to watch Ashley for a week until she got her affairs in order. We're busy moving, and we don't have time to deal with Ashley at the moment. If you don't want to or can't help, tell me right away so we don't get in trouble. Trust me, I'll find him a babysitter or something. Don't worry, Ashley will stay with me. Everything will be fine, Joseph said, and Ashley stayed with him, but not for a week. As always, it turned out that Evelyn stopped thinking about her son. She had a very different life. At first, she was busy moving. Then she had to fix up the new house. Then she was planning a wedding with Charlie. Joseph no longer expected her to ever want her son. He was serious about getting full custody of the child and was collecting papers. 6 months later, Joseph was transferred to the South. Life continued on its course. Of course, service was still time consuming, but now Joseph refused to go on long business trips and tried to spend as much time with his son as possible, especially since he was now officially Ashley's sole guardian. But the boy still lacked a mother's care. Joseph tried to find a new mother for his son, but it did no good. Women showed no interest in Ashley, and this indifference frustrated Joseph. Even Angela, who had long sought his attention, said bluntly, Don't expect anyone to love Ashley the way you do. Women only feel the maternal instinct when they are carrying a child themselves. Even surrogacy is only a pathetic semblance of real maternal feeling. Would you love my daughter as much as you love your son? Angela once asked. Yes, I would love my beloved woman's child. That wouldn't be a problem for me, Joseph answered her. He realized the pointlessness of his attempts to create a real family and broke up with Angela. One day, while walking with his son in the park, Joseph struck up a conversation with a 50-year-old woman. She remarked how wonderful his son was and asked why she only ever saw the two of them together. Joseph replied with a sad smile that he and his wife were divorced. The woman nodded understandingly and said she respected his decision to take care of his son, given his military service. Joseph replied that he was struggling to be honest, but Ashley is a wonderful and calm child. It's just very difficult for him to combine that kind of work and caring for his young son. The woman asked where he lived, and Joseph said he lived near a mall on the west side of town. She offered to be his babysitter since she had been a babysitter before. Joseph was very happy and said it would help him a lot. Time flew by very quickly, but one day everything stopped for Joseph. During one military operation he was in charge of, disaster struck. He saved 7 soldiers and managed to complete the mission, but he risked his own life. He was taken to the hospital when his heart almost stopped. But thanks to the skill of the doctors, he was able to come back to life. He recovered slowly. He underwent several surgeries. He was in induced coma for several days and finally regained consciousness. He was able to survive it all. Joseph twice proved himself to be a hero and a high ranking professional. However, as soon as the man came to his senses, he immediately asked about Ashley, his son. Linda, his attending physician, reassured him that Ashley was fine and urged Joseph to focus on the intensive care process so that he could recover soon and return to his son, who was very much looking forward to seeing his daddy. Linda visited Joseph regularly and told him about his son so he wouldn't feel lonely, telling him about what Ashley had drawn today or what he had asked him to tell his father. She also heard many tales of the man's heroic deeds from his co-workers who visited him. When Joseph was able to get up, Linda brought Ashley to him. The big, virile man couldn't hold back tears of joy and embarrassedly snuggled up to the boy, calling him kiddo. They discussed how soon Joseph would get better, and Ashley shared his adventures at the zoo and park, where there were swings and a lake. Joseph promised that when he was fully recovered, they would definitely go there together. But suddenly Linda said something that puzzled the man. He did not understand what she meant, and she apologized, saying that she should have told him earlier. Julian, the woman who looked after Ashley as a nanny, lived at your house with Ashley for almost 2 weeks and came to the hospital every day. But she had to leave town urgently because of problems with her elderly mother. She was very concerned about who would watch Ashley, since there was no way she could get through to your ex-wife. I decided that I could take care of him temporarily so that I wouldn't have to give him to child services, since I saw that you were doing well and you would soon get better. I kept calling every day at the phone number Julian left me. I think Ashley's mom changed the number because I never got through. Anyway, I didn't want to traumatize the child's psyche with social services and shelters where you'll soon be able to take care of him yourself. I live alone after divorcing my husband. We had no children, so Ashley is a source of joy for me. At first, I thought it was literally just for a week until his mom got in touch. But then another week went by and another. I realized I may have been wrong. But Ashley loves you so much. I wanted him to be as close to you as possible. You, Linda, have spent so much time. You have taken care of my son and supported me. I don't know how to thank you, Joseph said with tears in his eyes. Your recovery is the best thanks.
And don't worry about the boy. As long as you don't mind him living with me while you're recovering, Ashley and I get along just fine. He's wonderful.
Instead of answering, Ashley ran over and embraced Linda. Joseph could hardly swallow the lump in his throat, realizing that fate had given him a new chance at happiness. 15 years had passed. Joseph and Linda had long been married. Ashley had grown up and loved his mother, Linda, very much. Joseph's career was on the rise. They were now living in their new, spacious house of their own. He had been awarded high government honors for his services. Joseph was on vacation, renovating the new house, and Linda was at work. When Joseph decided to take a break and get something to eat, he had to go grocery shopping himself. At first, he wanted to change his clothes, but then he saw himself in the mirror, his unshaven face for 2 weeks, and his work clothes even looked funny. He got into the car wearing dirty work shoes, a stretchy t shirt, and stained pants. After buying sandwich bread, cheese, and a couple of beer, Joseph was on his way to the parking lot when a car passed by, called out to him. He turned around in surprise and saw Evelyn, his ex wife. She parked and got out of the car.
Well, Joe, hello. It's been a long time since I've seen you, Evelyn said with a sneering smirk.
It's been a long time, Evelyn, a long time, Joseph answered grudgingly.
I see you're not doing so well. It's sad. You almost look like a bum. I hardly recognized you. My husband just got promoted to lieutenant colonel. There, you see, if you hadn't left me, I could have made a decent man out of you.
Yes, very interesting. Is that all you wanted to tell me?
No, of course not. How's Ashley?
He's doing fine. He's at work now. Evelyn wrinkled her nose.
Of course, with a father like that, he didn't even make it to college. The poor guy had to look for a job right away.
You don't get it. He goes to a prestigious university. Now he goes to a paid internship at a big company. He likes to say he goes to work. It sounds cool. He's graduating in 2 years. Evelyn was about to say something else, but at that moment a girl got out of the car and held out her hand capriciously.
Sir, how long do I have to wait for you? Who is it, an old acquaintance?
Kelly, okay, let's go, Evelyn replied.
Listen, Joseph, here's my number. If you're having a hard time, call me.
Evelyn handed him her card and left. Joseph shrugged and threw the card in the trash without even reading it. 2 years later, he was on his way to visit his son to congratulate him on his graduation. Joseph was dressed in civilian clothes, planning to change at the airport as he headed to the business lounge through the general terminal. Joseph ran into Evelyn and some fat guy in a lieutenant colonel's uniform and Kelly.
Hi,
Evelyn said, and nodded at the fat man, pointing to Joseph.
Meet Joseph, Charlie. This is Joseph, my ex-boyfriend. By the way, he used to be in the military, too.
She wanted to hold out her hand, but changed her mind.
And in what rank?
Kelly asked.
Captain. Joseph was a captain.
Evelyn giggled.
Not everyone is lucky enough to have a career.
Charlie grinned. Are you going to Boston? It looks like we have the same flight, but... Joseph glanced at his watch. He needed to change. He quickly said goodbye to Evelyn and her family and left them bewildered. They assumed, of course, that he was just ashamed of his failures. When he arrived in Boston, he was the first to go down the stairs, as he was flying business class, and the doors of a shiny black car with military license plates opened immediately in front of him. The two uniformed attendants stretched out. Sir, the car is ready. All right, boys, let's go. It's no good being late, Joseph said. The last thing Joseph saw were the open mouths of Evelyn, Charlie, and their daughter coming down the ramp. They saw Joseph in his lieutenant general's uniform, the cars waiting for him, and couldn't believe it wasn't a prank. A few hours later, Joseph attended the grad ceremony. Then, when the opportunity arose, he embraced his son. Suddenly, a woman's voice rang out behind them.
Ashley!
Both men turned around and saw Evelyn.
Who is that?
My son asked. It's your mom, Joseph said simply.
Well, you got it wrong, Dad, said the young man. My mother is over there.
He clapped his father on the shoulder and hurried toward Linda, who, wiping away tears of joy and pride, ran toward him with flowers in her hand. Joseph smiled and hurried toward them as well, leaving Evelyn alone.